The act of eating human brain is a taboo practice that has been historically associated with cultural rituals or extreme survival situations. However, consuming human brain tissue can lead to the transmission of Prion diseases such as Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, which can be fatal and have devastating effects on the brain and nervous system. It is important to understand the consequences of consuming human brain in order to prevent the spread of Prion diseases and to avoid the ethical implications of cannibalism. Cannibalism is the act of consuming the flesh or organs of one's own species. It has been practiced throughout history for various reasons, including cultural and religious rituals, as well as for survival in extreme circumstances. Prion diseases are a group of neurodegenerative diseases caused by the accumulation of misfolded protein known as prions in the brain and nervous system. One such disease is Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, which can be transmitted through consuming infected brain tissue. Prions are abnormal versions of a protein that is normally found in the body. When these abnormal proteins come into contact with healthy proteins, they cause them to also become misfolded, leading to the accumulation of prions in the brain and nervous system. Prion diseases can be transmitted through consuming infected brain tissue, such as in the case of cannibalism or the consumption of contaminated meat from infected animals. The consumption of infected brain tissue can lead to the buildup of prions in the brain and nervous system, causing the development of prion diseases such as CJD. It is important to note that prion diseases are rare and transmission through cannibalism or contaminated meat is extremely rare. Prion diseases are degenerative neurological disorders that affect the brain and nervous system. They are always fatal and currently have no known cure. The symptoms of prion diseases can vary depending on the specific type of disease, but generally involve cognitive decline, memory loss, and neurological problems. In the case of CJD, symptoms can include rapidly progressing dementia, memory loss, personality change, difficulty with movement and coordination, muscle stiffness, tremors, speech impairment, difficulty swallowing, blindness, and coma. As the disease progresses, the symptoms become more severe and the person's cognitive and physical abilities continue to deteriorate. In most cases, death occurs within a year of the onset of symptoms. Prion diseases are degenerative because they cause the buildup of misfolded proteins in the brain and nervous system, which leads to the death of brain cells and the progressive deterioration of cognitive and physical functions. The misfolded proteins are able to convert normal proteins into the abnormal form, cause a chain reaction of proteins misfolding and buildup. This process is irreversible and ultimately leads to the death of the affected individual. One notable historical case where cannibalism led to the prion diseases is that of the Fore people in Papua New Guinea. In the early 20th century, the Fore people practiced a ritualistic form of cannibalism in which they consumed the brains of deceased family members as a sign of respect in mourning. This practice continued until the 1950s when a mysterious disease known as KURU began to spread among the Fore people, causing a high number of deaths. KURU is a prion disease that is transmitted through the consumption of infected brain tissue. It causes symptoms similar to those of CJD, including tremors, loss of coordination, and dementia. The disease became known as the laughing sickness because of the characteristic uncontrollable laughter that affected many of the victims. Researchers studying the KURU epidemic among the Fore people were able to identify the link between cannibalism and prion diseases. They found that the high incidence of KURU was directly related to the practice of consuming infected brain tissue. This discovery helped establish the understanding that prion diseases can be transmitted through cannibalism and also led to the recognition of other prion diseases such as CJD that can be transmitted through contaminated meat. Today, the practice of cannibalism is extremely rare and is largely considered taboo in most cultures. However, the historical cases of KURU and other prion diseases associated with cannibalism have provided valuable insights into the transmission and progression of these devastating diseases. The act of cannibalism raises a number of ethical concerns both in terms of the taboo nature of consuming human flesh and the potential risks of prion diseases. From a moral standpoint, cannibalism is widely regarded as taboo and is generally considered repulsive and unacceptable in most cultures. This is likely due in part to the fact that humans are social creatures that have developed complex social and ethical norms that govern our behavior. The consumption of human flesh is seen as a violation of these norms and is therefore considered immoral. Additionally, the potential risks associated with prion diseases are a major concern when it comes to cannibalism. While prion diseases are rare and transmission through cannibalism is extremely rare, the consequences can be devastating. These diseases are degenerative and always fatal and can lead to significant cognitive and physical deterioration before death. Because of these concerns, there are legal and ethical prohibitions against the consumption of human flesh. In most countries, cannibalism is a crime and can result in several legal consequences. In summary, while cannibalism is a rare practice that is generally considered taboo and morally repugnant, the potential risks associated with prion diseases provide additional justification for the legal and ethical prohibitions against this practice. In summary, cannibalism is the practice of consuming human flesh and has been practiced throughout history but is now widely regarded as taboo and illegal. The consumption of human brain tissue in particular can lead to the development of prion diseases, which are degenerative neurological disorders that are always fatal and have no known cure. The symptoms of prion diseases include cognitive decline, memory loss, and neurological problems, and are caused by the buildup of misfolded proteins in the brain and nervous system. Historical cases such as the KURU epidemic among the Fore people in Papua New Guinea have helped researchers understand the link between cannibalism and prion diseases. The ethical concerns surrounding cannibalism include the taboo nature of consuming human flesh and the potential risks of prion diseases. It is important to understand the consequences of cannibalism and the risks of prion diseases in order to prevent the transmission of these devastating diseases and to uphold the ethical and moral standards. Overall, the understanding of the risks associated with cannibalism and prion diseases is crucial in promoting public health and safety and in preserving social and ethical norms. If you find this video helpful, please press the subscription button and bell icon and let us know your beautiful ideas in comment section. Thanks for watching.